So, good evening, children. So, as we had discussed in my last video, and I was telling you about certain unique features of Java. So, remember, I had told you about the feature of platform independence, and I had explained to you what actually is platform independence, or what do we mean by the term platform independence. Just to give you a brief review of what we had done. Platform independence in simple terms means Java is a software which can work on any computer. Whatever is the hardware, whatever is the software, it does not matter. That means execution of Java is not dependent upon the hardware and software configurations of the system. So that is the meaning of platform independence, and how basically Java manages this is what I had tried to explain you about in the concept of bytecodes. That Java is a two-stage system where in the first stage the source code gets compiled by the Java compiler JAVAC and bytecodes are generated. These bytecodes are intermediate code between the source code and the machine code. And then these bytecodes are sent into the client machine where they are accepted by a Java component known as JVM. JVM acts as an interpreter and it converts the bytecodes into machine codes as per the configuration of the client machine and executes it to give you the result on the screen. So this was one of the unique features of Java. Now, I remember I had stopped my class or my video by introducing the term API. I don't know how many of you looked for API or tried to get some idea about it. But okay, we'll start from there only. So as I had mentioned in the last class that API stands for Application Programming Interface. Now I'll give you one example before moving ahead in this concept. Suppose your parents move out for a day or two and you are left alone in the house. I know you all are going to enjoy it like anything, but one big problem will be food. How are you going to manage the food? So your parents give you two options. One option is that they tell you that, okay, we have got all the provisions, rice, dal, and vegetables, and chicken, mutton, or paneer, whatever you like, and we have kept it in the refrigerator. Whatever you want to eat, take it out, make it, and eat it. This is option number one. And option number two is that they give you a telephone number of a nearby restaurant. Now that restaurant is unique in a sense that it provides each and every dish from throughout the world. Just imagine. Now your father tells you that, okay, whatever you want to eat, just call up to this restaurant and tell them, and they will get the thing for you in your home. You don't need to go outside. Okay, and you don't need to pay the money also. When I come back, I'll settle the account. Now, which option are you going to choose? Option number one, where you will have to make your own food, or option number two, where you are going to just order and you are going to get the things. So naturally, we do not need Einstein's brain to understand that by nature, we all human beings are lazy. And so naturally, none of us are going to look out for choose the option number one. We all are going to choose option number two. Exactly the same thing happens in programming. When you want to do something on the computer will do that particular thing only if you make a program for it. Now, if you are using C or C++ or any other language, you will have to write the program yourself. But if you are using Java, then you don't need to write the program yourself. Developers of Java have written a vast collection of programs to deal with various difficult issues in your computer, and they have supplied those programs along with Java installation in your computer. So that means when you install Java in your computer, all the programs which have been developed by the developers of Java for your benefit gets loaded into our system. So suppose if you want to make a circle on the screen, now you will say that, sir, I can open MS Paint and I can go into Tux Paint and I can make a circle. But that is not the issue. The issue is that imagine you don't have any operating system in your computer other than DOS. And you know very well that DOS screen is black. So there, if I tell you that you have to make a circle writing a program, you have to give commands so that the computer understands your commands and makes a circle on the screen. So will you be able to do it? Or take another example. You have just got a DOS machine and you know that DOS is basically a single user operating system. That means it cannot be connected in LAN. And I want you to connect a DOS machine to another machine via LAN or via any kind of connectivity modes using a program. Now that means you will have to write a program to make that computer connectable to the other computer. Now, is it easy? Okay, it is not at all easy for us. For such kind of programs, we need extensive knowledge of the hardware, and which generally is very time consuming, and computer is so vast, children, that nobody can claim that okay, we know each and every aspect. So it becomes very difficult for general programmers to work on a platform where you have to do everything yourself. This was the case in C and C++. So developers understood that if this is the case, then my language or the language which we are working upon is never going to be popular. For anything to be popular, it should be easy. So what they did was that along with the development of Java, they developed vast collection of programs to handle all such typical problems, like connecting two computers together, or like getting input from a barcode reader, or like making a circle or square. And they loaded all these programs in the system. Okay. Now, the programs are in lakhs. Okay. Naturally, when you want to do something, then what you need to do is you need to go into that library of programs which have been supplied by the Java developers, and you need to choose the program which is going to do your work and execute it. So notice, instead of writing your own program for a particular thing, you have already got a program by Java developers. You just need to use that program to get the desired output. How those programs are going to be used, that is again we are going to deal ahead. Right now we don't need to break our head. But this vast collection of programs which have been supplied along with Java installation is known as API, Application Programming Interface. So what it is? API is a vast collection of programs developed by Java developers and supplied along with Java installation for the benefit of the user. Now, these 1,10,000 programs or more than that, and this number keeps on changing because some programs get obsolete from that. So they remove it and they keep on adding new programs to suit the new technology. Okay. So this number is very variant and we cannot fix a number for it, but it is a vast collection. You should understand in that way. This vast collection of programs are not simply dumped into your system. They are kept in groups. Okay, like all the programs which are related to input output, they are placed together in one group or in one folder if I talk in terms of Windows. If I talk in terms of DOS, then I will say not folder but a directory. So what is directory is a folder in Windows. So all these programs are kept together in a directory or a folder. Now, remember, if we are working on DOS, then it becomes a directory. If we are working on Windows, then it becomes a folder. But Java does not use these terms. Java uses its own term known as package. Now, what is a package is again something which comes much later on. But I do not want to confuse you at this stage. So, for a rough idea of understanding, you take it as a directory where similar programs to handle similar problems are loaded. So, this API has got number of sub packages. Each package contains number of programs. These programs are similar in nature, dealing with various aspects of the computer. Like, there is one package known as IO. IO contains all the programs related to input-output. So if you want to connect a barcode reader or if you want to take input from the keyboard, then all these options are there in the IO package of Java. Similarly, another package, okay, AWT, Abstract Window Toolkit. Now, remember, Java is an independent system. It is not dependent on Windows. But when we are developing applications, okay, as Windows has already proved that it is the most convenient system for working on computers. So naturally, when developing softwares, we need certain aspects of Windows to be incorporated in our software or in our program. Like for example, suppose you are generating a website or you are writing code to generate a website and you want to give a close button or a minimize button, or you want to give the title bar and all those things. So these options, where do you see? You see all these options in Windows. So to make a close button, you need to write a program. So instead of writing the program, close button option is there in AWT. You just need to use it. How? Again, as I told you, mentioned earlier, that it will come much later on. Okay. So there are number of smaller packages, IO, AWT, Swing. Swing contains graphics, and then util, another important package which contains utilities. Okay, like color palette and all those things. So number of things are there. So I hope you have understood what is API. Now, these are the two unique things. First is two-stage compilation, and second is presence of a vast API. Vast API means a big set of programs to develop to help the developers work in Java. This comes as an extra hand. Now, coming to the next topic. Before moving ahead, we need to understand certain basics of any programming language, or we need to have certain idea that how programs work. So this particular thing, what you see on the screen right now beside my video, value and data types, okay, that is basically certain common things which you require in most of your languages or most of the softwares. This forms the crux or the basic idea of programming. So very first thing is character set. What is a character set? So now, character set is a set of valid characters which a language understands. What do I mean by this? To understand this, let us go into WhatsApp world. How do you type messages in WhatsApp? You type Hindi in English. What I mean to say is, हम जा रहे हैं. You want to type, so you write HUMJARAHE and HAI. Will your Hindi teacher give you full marks for that? No, and neither your English teacher will correct it. Why? Because the character set of Hindi and English are different. Is that part understood? So in the same way, like in Hindi we follow Kakha Ganga, and in English we follow ABCD, in the same way in Java or in C++ or any computer language will have a character set. Thank you. We'll continue from here in the next class. Take care.